describe is that this time it has one more stage more than the Vulcan one. In the Vulcan you have 3 main stages and 2 blessings. This time you have 4 main stages and 2 blessings. The 4 main stages are now you have Metus, you have Isil, you have Kaisel, and you have Baran. So yeah, we can now go over each floor and its weaknesses, its gimmicks and stuff like that.
Wait, do we have a boss rush? Like you enter the stage and then you have to fight 4 different bosses in one go? Actually,
The most important info
that's actually cool
to know and stuff like that is what are their weaknesses, what are they strong against. So here it is. The new extension for Workshop of Brilliant Light is weak against wind and dark.
Wind and dark
against water, which means that water units
strong against, like weak against wind and dark, but strong against water, just because that Baba does not want us to bring Alicia. Like they know if they don't make it strong to water, Alicia will just wreak havoc.
will not be usable in the new mod. So yeah, let's begin with floor 75 meters. This is basically the most annoying floor in the new workshop.
Okay.
Metus' gimmick is pushing the character away. Of course, I'm talking other than its normal gameplay from what we already have in story. And when it pushes you away, it basically creates a circular mini-game area around himself, and the camera goes up-down. And then the player has to collect 4 or was it 5 circles, magic circles, before the charge ends to finish the fight and basically break Metus. While you try to collect the magic circles, Metus slashes around himself to damage the player, which means you have to have a lot of dashes to dodge all of theirs while trying
So either speed or swiftness.
Collect all the circles. This is the first stage. After that, when you lower his HP again, he does the minigame again, but this time instead of doing slashes around you when you try to collect the magic circles, he actually does a shockwave. If you don't time your dodges perfectly, the shockwave will push you out of the minigame area and will do tons of damage to you, similar to Cerberus AoE, if you remember from the Workshop of Brilliant Light, where he does a tornado around himself. So this is basically the gimmick around Metus. It doesn't have anything special. The blessing area, the 2 blessing areas in this new extension are both pretty much the same. You have 5 stages of waves that you have to clear of the skeletons. It's annoying, it's hard, it's not that horrible. I think most people will be able to clear it pretty easily. The gimmicks are a little bit hard to clear though, because they do a lot of damage, and if you don't time everything perfectly, you will die.
So, quick breakdown about Metus is we are playing Metus, we are fighting Metus with Jinwoo. So the way to approach this fight is Vacuum Wave with a secondary skill, maybe Multi-Strike Dark for another break and invincibility frames, or we can use the new Sonic Stream, the Dark skill, ideally for damage purposes, since it is weak to wind and dark. Weaponry, Westwind Plum. Will you ever want to use something else? I don't think so. Maybe you want to replace Westwind with the new Spear if you have it A5. But I think the majority of us doesn't have the weapon A5, so might as well just use Westwind because Westwind is king anyways. And use Speed or Swiftness Blessing just because of that Circle Collection gimmick. That's about it for Metus.
So now let's go on to floor 80 Isil. Isil is an assassin basically with
Death Stance Dark does not have invincibility frames.
2 main stages. In the first stage, she mainly uses laser beams from drones that she can spawn and sword attacks. She dashes around a lot, so again you need to use a lot of dashes. She does a special attack after you lower her HP enough, which then she charges into the sky and does the famous sun animation that you guys saw in the new Baran teaser video that they did a while back.
So for Isil, we have to destroy
So
crystals.
basically, after she does that, she starts bombarding the entire area with.
But the question, I have only one question right now. Is I'm not 100% sure. Maybe I'm getting it wrong. Maybe there are different stages, like floor 75, floor 85, till we get to 100, or is it literally just one floor boss rushing all, like stage, like similar to? Is it like similar to Battlefield of Chaos? When you enter, let's say, tier 10, 11, or 12, where you have 3 different bosses you have to fight.
Abilities and you have to dodge all of them, and then she goes back down. After you break her again, she then goes into a crouched state and starts shooting everywhere in a circular area, and she creates crystals around herself. You have to destroy those crystals in order to break her, and then you will be able to finish the stage. It is a very annoying stage again because you have to use a lot of dashes, but it is fun. I have to say, in this
But also against Isil, we are using Jinwoo.
in this general like workshop of Brilliant Light extension, they decided to go in the direction of doing a lot of abilities and gimmicks that you have to dodge, you have to time perfectly, and you have to hit them. I think this is fun, I have to say. I'm interested to seeing your guys' reactions because I can imagine the amount of anger this is gonna cause to some players to rage quit, even maybe form a way to fight against, in my opinion.
Maybe I'm completely off.
Let's go on to Kaisel. Kaisel is the dragon, the wyvern, that
Yeah, our new shadow. I hope I'm right with my theory that Kaisel will be the faction leader or squad leader of the Shadow Army, basically being the 4th shadow in the squad.
Baran rides, if you don't know that. His main attack pattern is Baran riding on him, and then they do a teleport to the left side of the screen, and when he does a wing attack on you, you have to dodge the second that you see the teleport happening. And then he does main.
It's still funny to me that they showed in the Korean live stream, they used the Huntsman weapon, so it looked like you are going to use light and wind, but in reality you're using dark wind.
Light beam attacks and lightning storms. Pretty.
How can we milk the player base the most? Oh yeah, let's use dark because our dark roster is actually very bad. And instead of releasing one character, and since dark doesn't have anything and one character is not enough for the dark content, might as well just give people 2 in one patch.
Usual stuff, to be honest, not something that I can warn about that you have to dodge. The main gimmick of this stage is the fact that when you lower his HP enough, similar to other stages, it goes in.
So what I'm seeing here is you're basically doing all 4 fights with Jinwoo and then repeat the process with the hunters.
To a spatial stage where he and Baran starts absorbing all of the energy around the area. When they do that, you have to start collecting all of the energy orbs that appear before they do, because if you don't, they're gonna do a huge attack and basically almost one-shot you. And if you do manage to get all of them, it breaks the characters and then you can finish.
I wonder if we get a new skill with the new update going to level 90, or do we only get new skills with a job change?
The fight. It's a quick fight, to be honest, in my opinion, unless they buffed it before release. But yeah, now.
So Kaisel is not a big deal, it seems like, to battle.
To the main stage that everyone is interested in, which is floor 100.
Baran.
100 is a very gimmicky floor, I have to say. I think they might have overdone it, but still fun. Similar.
I like the part where he's saying, very gimmicky. I think they have overdone it. This sounds to me, oh, you pulled Mirai? Oh, you pulled Han? Nah, bro, that ain't enough. You gotta use the new kindergarten team. Bora and the lollies. You gotta use Team Kindergarten if you wanna complete that thing.
Compared to Vulcan, he also has multiple stages. In the first stage, he mainly uses a sword and lightning attacks. He dashes around you and starts doing lightning attacks, AoEs around the map. You have to dodge all of them perfectly. Again, some of them are easier to dodge. And then he does the main special gimmick of the first stage, which means he teleports into the back.
Yo, why are we not getting a skill like this? See, Baran is using the Demon King longsword and he's casting a big ass lightning wall, charging for what? Why aren't we getting something like this with Demon King longsword? Well, why are we only getting that weak ass version of that sword? Come on, that is the actually Netmarble. This is actually the only law accurate weapon we have in Jinwoo's arsenal SSR wise. Show that weapon some love. That is the only law accurate weapon and is one of the weakest. Please, please buff that weapon so much that it is the strongest. Let's be honest, just make it the strongest SSR weapon. I don't care at this point. Just make it the strongest SSR weapon, because that weapon with its lore deserves to be this fucking strong.
Of the stage, and when it starts pouring
look at this
of lightning onto you.
Give me lightning walls.
You can imagine
why does he have all the cool skills with the weapon but we don't?
Walls flying onto you, and they have certain like areas where you can pass through them, which means you have to start dashing around the walls to get into the opening in the mazes to be able to dash through them and go through them. Of course, you can dash to dodge the wall itself, but again, you're gonna waste a lot of dodges and you have to time it perfectly. So I would recommend when he starts doing this stage, go to the furthest part away from him and then manage to just walk between the gaps in the walls. And yeah, after you do that, he goes into a giant mode similar to Vulcan, and he starts slashing the sword around the map. You have to dodge it.
It's funny how he's using the lightning spear weapon and the dark spear.
It's pretty easy to dodge. And then he does the insta-kill thing, where you have to go into a safe area. The safe area this time is actually Isil, which appears on the map and does a shield around that area. And you have to dash quickly into that area to be able to survive the one-shot attack. And this was only the first stage. The second stage...
I wouldn't be surprised that you have to redo this thing with the hunters, but the gimmick with this the gimmick with the hunters is Isil does not appear, and the only way to survive that one-shot kill is you need Han on the field casting her invincibility skill.
Is when you kill him, actually 0 HP, he comes to life again, this time with daggers. Now you're wondering probably what it means. Basically, he now goes into stealth a lot. He dashes a lot onto you, so again, dashes are gonna be needed for this extension, like very much. I can see people using Wujin Chul a lot, especially for the extra dashes. So basically, he teleports around a lot, and then the special gimmicks in this stage is similar to the dark.
I think the supports I would use is Wujin Chul, Break and Dash, Han, because Han, and Fisher. Those are the 3 supports I would use. Unless the CP is so ridiculous, then it's just Team Water for CP.
Assassin, the SR one, where you fight in story and he does like the multiple teleports around you, and then you have to time dodge perfectly to dodge it. He does the same exact attack multiple times. So this is gonna be hard for a lot of players because this does a ton of damage. It's probably gonna one-shot you, but I still think you guys will enjoy it. It goes into a berserk stage after that and starts doing lightning abilities that are aimed exactly at you, that actually follow your movement and stuff like that. And yeah, after you kill him now, you finish the fight itself. So yeah guys, this was a rundown of the actual new Workshop of Brilliant Light, all of its flaws, its main gimmicks. I'm sorry that it took so long to release this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you.
I mean, if you would have waited 10 days, like a week longer or something, you could have released on the same day as the patch goes live. Well, that's it. That's the entire showcase for this workshop. Basically, a full breakdown on every single boss with the workshop. I mean, we saw basically the gameplay. So we're fighting Metus, then we're fighting Isil, then we're fighting Kaisel, and last but not least, we're fighting Baran. The only thing we don't know yet is it all in one? Is it multiple floors? So we go floor 70, 75, and so on and so forth. Is it like that? What about the blessings? Do we get additional blessings? I suppose. we are getting new blessings, right? But no informations about the lollies here. And it's all battles were with Jinwoo. I mean, it does make sense because Jinwoo did fight all of them, so it does make sense. And he battled basically everybody except for Isil. Isil just gave up when she saw Jinwoo in the manhwa, but yeah, that's for that. But yeah, I think it's basically you have to fight all 4 of them with Jinwoo, and after you have beaten them with Jinwoo, you have to do the same thing with the hunters again. You either go full wind with Han, Mirai, Wu, or you go team kindergarten, one or the other.